Hello.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Okay, great. Those are those minor details.
They're my two favorite people. Look at that.
You're blessed today, Miss Sally.
How are you feeling? I heard you had to miss the fundraiser and the birthday party.
Yeah, we missed a little bit of some things.
Were you the only one in the house that got sick, or did Christy get sick too?
No, we'll go into that here in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Part
no,
of your spiel for the day?
yeah, part of my chat for the day.
Ah.
How are you, Miss Britt?
I'm good. My dad's not here right now, so I'm taking full advantage of that.
It's the little things in life, isn't it?
We have reconnected and been in touch with each other, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
good.
I'm getting around again.
Brittany, I love my blanket. Oh my God. It is all mine. Nobody can use it. LJ loves it too.
What kind of blanket she got you?
She got me one of, I don't know what it's called, but
It's a snuggie.
yeah, and you get to put your arms in, so my arms are warm and I'm warm. Spencer and Christy can turn the temperature down to 50 where they like it, and I'm warm. I'm a happy camper. Then the cutting board with that inscription you had made, that is awesome.
Oh, thanks.
That is awesome. I finally got to see it yesterday.
Oh,
but that was really
Did you like it?
I loved it. That was really cool.
Cool. Everybody's happy. Huh?
Well, yeah, we're getting there.
I'm pretending. See, I'm real happy. See?
I'm just hoping people show up today.
I think they will. I put a good plug in for you. Because I was looking and looking, for Tennie's thing, and I couldn't find it it wasn't until after I got off of the alumni call did I see that did it show up on my.
Well, part of that is because I couldn't decide what I wanted to chat about. It took me a while to arrive at this. So it's not Misty's fault for not getting it out there. It's mine for not getting her the information in a timely manner.
You know what? It's the holiday season and blame it.
That had nothing to do with it. Not a darn thing to do with it. I just couldn't wrap my head around what I wanted to visit about. And then Christy had this marvelous idea. And so here we are. We'll see how it goes today.
Here you go. I'm going to give you the funniest thing in the world. I'm just in love with it.
Oh, that's great. Where in God's green earth did you find that?
Hobby Lobby.
Ah, wow. No, that's great.
I know. And I grabbed it, the last one, because there were two older ladies bickering about it, and I grabbed it.
There, you solved the argument.
I did. And they both gave me the finger and said I was a bitch. I said, hey, happy holidays. I don't care. When I want something, I'm going for it.
That's good. Well, Brittany, how'd you enjoy working out with the boy?
I couldn't sit on the toilet the next day.
He laughed. I sent that off to him. He laughed.
It's good. It's funny because I don't do those kind of workouts much anymore. But I'm still somewhat strong, and I forget that I don't do that stuff anymore. That was great.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, I was supposed to this afternoon. We had scheduled for my Christmas picture day, but it's raining outside. So, but hopefully I will get that done soon. But I'm enjoying my Gazelle.
Do you like that thing?
Yeah. now that I've got I traded my 55-inch for a 70-inch TV, and so I've got the Netflix on it, and so I just put it on and I watch my show, and I'm just going.
You mean it's not to watch football?
Well, I haven't seen where my team was playing anywhere. I'm into basketball now.
I know your
Dookies are
Dookies.
doing great. John Shire's doing a wonderful job so
You
far.
and your Dookies, I know.
Yeah. Doesn't matter whether Coach K's there or not.
That's right. You got to carry on the tradition.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, he had a heart. It's not easy to come into a well-established program and follow a legend like that, you
No,
know.
it's not. It has
John
extra.
Shire's he's got a group of freshmen that want to play and please, and they play as a team. So yes. Yeah.
It's good, Brett.
Are you in the office, Brett, or are you at home?
Yep, I'm just laminating sleeves on prayer cards right now. So
So you're in the office. Got it.
yep. Look who I brought though.
Oh, don't you love it? I've got a damn it doll. Here's mine. It's gotten a workout lately too. Aren't they great?
It's so much fun.
Ever loving.
I'm jealous. I want one.
They're
I
right.
They are
I keep on hitting my brother with it though.
They are absolutely awesome. I think Becky Forrest gave me this years ago.
Oh, forgot about Becky.
Yeah. Trey's there. We got Jana. We got about 4 minutes.
Hey, it's okay. You've just got a small crowd. We're still going to listen to what you got to say.
I'm not worried about it.
Oh, pray for Diane Short. She fell and shattered her shoulder, and she's having surgery on Friday.
When?
She fell last week. She tripped. And so she finally got all her clearances, and they finally got it scheduled. She's been in a lot of pain.
I
just
have.
It up in prayer. Yeah. All she needed. I said, Darren, are you making a habit of this at Christmas time?
Making there.
Yeah.
Anything else anybody has fun to report? Brittany, how do y'all split Christmas now that your parents are divorced?
So I do Thanksgiving with my mom, and then I do Christmas Eve with Cam's father's side, and then Christmas Day with his mother's side. And my dad's going to Florida, so
there you go.
Works out. I get to be with the normie family.
The North. You know what RL always said?
Mm.
Normal is only the setting on a dryer.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that one before. It's a good one.
He left that to me when he left Shades. He brought that sign over to me, and he said, just always remember this, Cam. Yes, sir.
When does Spencer get home?
Friday night late. He has in years past, his finals have been over early. This year, though, I think it's his anatomy. So it's an in-person final. Yeah, and it's not over until late. So, but the positive is he'll be able to get his workout in Friday afternoon before having to get to the airport. You know, it all works out.
I'm so proud of him. Gosh, he's He just keeps getting more awesomer as he's growing.
He's maturing into a very special young man. We're very
And
blessed to be a
nothing
part of
to
his
do with
journey.
who raised him, No, I'm just kidding.
And you just nourish what God brings into the world.
Well, he has all kind of opportunities to go, either to go the bad way or go the good way, and he's choosing to do the right things, and I think
Well,
that's great.
there's not really, I'm going to take his challenge with that. There's not really a bad way. It is, are your choices leading you where you want to go? So if you don't, how do I say this? If you don't care where you end up, it's not really a bad decision to do one thing or another. And that is where he is a very focused, goal-oriented young man. And like I said, we're just enjoying the ride. Okay, well, we've got a small group, but I always try to start on time. So I'm going to I was telling Brittany and Sally a minute ago that the reason it isn't up on a placard or a video of what we're talking about today is because I couldn't settle on a topic. So it's not Misty's fault. That's my fault for not getting her the information in a timely manner. But the title of this is Missings. I'm going to kind of go through a little bit, and I want you to understand this is not about poor, pitiful me, but I kind of want to walk you through the last 16 days of my life and what I have come to learn and appreciate on another level. I've often thought that I had an understanding of by life's choices, and Sally, you and I were just visiting with that what it is to miss things, be it out of fear, be it out of lying, being out of whatever reason. Most on this call know that I'm in a same-sex relationship, and I came out about 35 years ago, a lifetime ago, maybe even 40 years ago. Yeah, God. And during that period of my life, I lied my way through it with my family. There was fear involved. Now bear in mind, this wasn't in today's time, where some people think it's cool to be gay. It was at a time that certain members of my family opted not to associate with me, and therefore I made decisions, and I lied, not to do things. And I still, even years later, even though God bless my brothers, they have kind of let go of some of those resentments, they're still there. And I will never be able to recapture those moments. I lied to my mother. We at least got our life together somewhat before she passed. But I missed things. And I've often gone back to that and relied on it when I've dealt with clients. Probably one of the biggest, and I'm just relating this to know where I've come from for my 25 years here at Shades, and then how the last 16 days have, God's decided I needed a re-lesson on things. My mother passed, my grandmother passed, and I spent the Christmas before my grandmother's passing with her because I didn't have anywhere else to go. My brothers weren't taking me in, and it was probably, that part was probably one of the best memories I have with my grandmother. But when she passed several months later, I made the conscious decision not to go to her funeral. I mean, I just seen her, she's dead, what the hell? Well, as the story goes, and the family was processing in, the murmur through the church was, didn't Donna have a daughter? Where's the daughter? Now, bear in mind, my mother was the oldest. I was the oldest granddaughter. I was the only grandchild of 32 at that time that did not make that funeral. Like I said, there are still some family resentments around that. But I tell you this, that I tell you those two things, like I said, in my years here, I have relied on those experiences to try to have an understanding. And I'm going to pick on you a little bit, Brittany, because I know you, and I don't think you'll take offense to what Brittany missed in her disease. There have been conversations we've had, I'm not going to go into them, but to try to have an understanding, because that's what my job is here, is when someone calls. But then on the other side, like with the Miranda, I'll pick on you, to have an understanding from a family perspective of the missings of maybe our loved ones. So this isn't about poor, pitiful me, but I'm going to kind of set this up and walk you through the last couple of days. Christy and I were fully aware that this would be the year of Tennie's 80th birthday. Now, bear in mind, we threw her a surprise birthday on her 70th, coupled with her and RL's 50th anniversary a few months prior to her birthday. We learned a lot in that, and I can remember at the end of it, we're never doing this again. We're done. We're done. So fast forward 10 years to be exact. We're kind of sitting there going, man, Tennie's going to turn 80. And we kind of were dragging our feet if we were going to do anything. Let's be real honest about it. Tennie gets seriously ill in April. And Christy's home for a little bit before she goes back up to the hospital. And we're sitting there on the couch. And I kind of look over at her and I'm like, we may need to think about this 80th birthday thing. We've already had some of you reach out asking, what are you doing for Tennie's 80th? And we're like, we're not doing a damn thing. So there's that. So we kind of start shooting it around and thinking about it. Then God bless Jackie and Cora and the foundation. They're asking, we want to do a fundraising event for Shades of Hope. And there were some factors. We wanted to have it here. Kelly, Tennie's son, had won Perini's Dinner Club for an evening. Well, then I had the great idea on a call with those ladies. What would really work is if we tied the foundation event somehow to her birthday, so to make it easier on us, we don't have to hide some of y'all coming in from out of town. Oh, that's a great idea. Now, God bless, and I want to thank Jackie and Cora. Christy and I kind of hem-hawed around about that, and they kept, when's the date, Cam? When's the date? So they were very patient with us. We come up with the date. We're going to do this the first weekend of December. So we kind of get into action. Thank God with the foundation, all I had to do was get some addresses and add, names with Tennie. And I got to be the runner to do some things because by nature, I live here. But then there's the birthday party. And those of you that have put on such events, we sent 250 invitations out. By the grace of God, 130 to 140 of you made the effort to be there. And I thank you. Those of you that did not, or we missed sending an invitation, and I'll make my amends now, have sent videos and text messages to Tennie, honoring her and her life. But the venue has to be secured. Then we recognize we have a vast array of people coming. We need to secure a menu that meets everybody's meal plan. So that situation begins. God bless Kim and Karen, helping get names and addresses and all that. So, a lot of effort, not to toot our horns, go into this. So then Thanksgiving comes and we have a great Thanksgiving and all of that. And that Sunday morning, we put Spence on the plane or get him to the airport around 11:30. And we have our little notebook of everything that needs to be done in the next 5 days for the foundation event. I had still had responsibilities there. But most importantly for us, our responsibility of the party. So we stopped to get a bite to eat because I've been cooking for Spencer. I wasn't cooking Sunday. When we sit down to eat, and I kind of look up across the table, and Chrissy's not looking too good. She's not looking good. I'm like, "Are you okay?" And she said, I'm not feeling good. It's like I have this sharp pain in my throat. I don't want to eat. Now, bear in mind, too, Christy had a head injury years ago. So there are times after family events and the holidays, she's just worn out. Mentally and emotionally, she's worn out. So me and my optimistic self. Oh, she's just tired. Let's just go home, put her to bed, see what the afternoon brings. She was out. Get up Monday morning, she feels like crap. She's running fever. I come on to work thinking, oh, she'll get to feeling a little bit better by 10 o'clock. She's not. So I go get a couple of tests because we're out down here. And I'll be a son of a Siberian snot slinger. That woman tests positive. Well, some yahoo wrote a policy several years ago pertaining to COVID for Shades of Hope employees. I wrote it, and it simply was, if you have a family member within your home who tests positive, you cannot come to work for the 3 to 5 gestation day period. You're non-symptomatic and you test negative. Okay, I can take call from home, I can orchestrate things. I wasn't too upset about it because I could still do some of my job. By Thursday, Christy's fever's gone. She's got this strain that is perfectly fine. She's up and going. Okay, we're all in. Foundation events tomorrow night. Birthday party Saturday, and I'll be again son of a Siberian snot slinger. I get up Friday morning and I feel like crap. I'm snot-nosed. My head wants to explode. Now, bear in mind, I've had this in August of 21. Miss Invincible. I'm just like, oh, it's just a cold and flu. And Christy kind of puts her foot down and just like, you're not walking out of this house until you test. Well, I'm supposed to meet Cora and Jackie down at Perini's Supper Club. We're going to have breakfast and a nice, cute little meeting, get caught up. Well, again, I test positive. I am not a happy camper. So I get things lined out with Jackie and Cora. God bless them. They picked it up, went with it. I got the things I had that they needed. But then what comes up is we had left it with Spencer to make his decision if he was going to rearrange his life. Finals are coming up to come home for the birthday party. And he had called like on Tuesday. He said, yeah, that's something I really need to show up at. I remember, Cam, you talking about your grandmother's funeral. That's the reason I told that story earlier. Minnie turns 80 once. Well, you're right, son. I'm proud for you. We'll make your reservations, all of that. Well, Christy can't relapse. I mean, if out of the 3 of us, someone's going to miss these events, it needs to be me. Christy's her youngest. has been in business with her forever. Y'all know the stories. And Spencer, the youngest grandchild, other grandkids are going to be there. Okay, so we'll move me into the middle bedroom and I can use. Bottom line, the safest way was to go to the hotel. So Friday around noon, I check in to the hotel down here, and because Chrissy's got to disinfect the house before Spencer shows up. That's when it really started to hit me. The missings. Now I'm going to parallel this to an addict. I thought, and I still don't have a great grasp on when in the midst of using and lying as an addict, what they might miss out on. I thought I did in my growing up when it became apparent that I was gay, and the lying and deceitfulness that I went through out of fear of coming out to my family. But as I sat in that hotel and I knew the event was starting, and then later to hear the story of, because the primary entertainment of that evening ended up being Ashley and Tennie having a very candid conversation about their journey, their life together, and their recovery. God, I would have loved to have heard that. I love and respect both of those women so much. Missed out on it. Missed out on meeting some of those people that live in our community through Kelly that were so very gracious in their donations to the foundation. I don't have those relationships with those people or the beginnings of them now. You know, okay, I can kind of get through that. But then comes Saturday. You know that playbook I talked about? That who was responsible for what? I couldn't help. I was helpless. Then Spencer text. Now, God bless Kim. She stepped up, went with Christy to the venue. All of those things that were supposed to be my responsibility. Not that I like being in control. Mom, I forgot my shoes. I need some new shoes. And Christy's like, how the hell am I going to now get through Dillard? I mean, it just kind of kept adding on. And the sense of helplessness and worthlessness I felt. The missing of well, what stories are we going to tell Tennie to keep her off base all day? All of that changed. Then it goes to the event that night, and some of y'all were there, and some people were there as alumni and friends that I haven't seen in 20 years. And then God bless, some would send me photos. Oh, Cam, we're so sorry you're not here, but we want you to be able to engage and at least know who's here and what a wonderful event it is. You know, my heart and my little ego just started to plummet. And I was just like, okay, God, I know you are in control. What am I supposed to learn out of this? And a couple of things occurred to me. Let me find my note. You know the story of the McCarty family and how at times people have been out, if I could say that, maybe through their choosing, or they've been in treatment and they've missed family gatherings. And I've always been kind of pious, and well, I've never missed anything, you know, and I'm even the in-law. Well, that got blown to kingdom come. No, being ill was not my choice. But if you really understand the disease of addiction, is it really their choice? Where it parallels for me is my responsibility at that time was to protect my family and those of that were going to be at these events, but then to treat it. Just like an addict's responsibility is to kind of suck it up, buttercup, and you might miss some things, but you need to go treat your disease. You know, Christy had to detach herself from me and Spencer with love. Just like when our family's clients are here, sometimes families have to detach with love. I have a greater appreciation. So I kind of get through that sitting in a hotel room. Yeah, great. Football championship, conference championships were on, and y'all know how I love football, but what I would have given to help with those last minute preparations, to see that we pulled it off, that Tennie had no freaking idea, that we did it again 10 years later and surprised her. And the joy that she had in seeing this array of people, and to again connect with some of those people that were there that, yeah, I talked to on the phone. And again, I'll pick on Brittany. Brittany and I talk, and we've got a pretty good, I think, a close relationship. But I haven't been able to see her, to be able to give her a hug. There's something about that. And there were a lot of people there. There were people that we invited that were so crucial in the upbringing of our son. There are many, especially our alumni, have watched our son grow up and have advised me at times with his challenges, as every young person has. I missed all that. So we fast forward to Sunday. Christy gets Spence on the plane, which means I get to go home. But then it's about all the leftovers. They're all down at Tennie's. People that are still here are down at Tennie's. And yeah, they have their production line of bagging food and down to, okay, we're going to bag the leftover chicken in 6-ounce things to be frozen for Spencer when he comes home and his meal plan and all that stuff. But the stories and the engagements there, the after party stories, I'm not a part of it. I don't have those memories. And then Christy, when she gets home Sunday evening and into Monday, now bear in mind, my fever's still going. It's between 99 and 103. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, but we cannot get the fever. So for the whole next week, up until this last Monday, I'm still contagious. And then Christy would start telling the story, and she's smart enough and recognizes, ooh, Cam didn't know that. And finally, it kind of got to the point of, you've got to tell the stories. That's the only way I ever will know. It's just like, I can tell you the McCarty family stories like I was there when they were growing up, because I've heard them for 25 years. It's the same thing. Now, to correlate that to our families and addicts and parents of and family members of, I know there have been times when some of our family members have been absent from events over at the McCartys that we would shy away from telling the story so they didn't feel bad. You tell the stories. You tell the stories. Because they might have physically missed the stories. but they're still important to them. Tell the stories. Maybe they miss the actual participation, but I have reveled as Christy will remember thing and be like, oh, and so. And I was just like, they were there too? Well, crap. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I said, no, tell the story. I want to hear the stories. I want to hear them. So as family members, you might have a story of a Thanksgiving or a Christmas where your loved one wasn't there. Maybe they were out using, maybe they were in treatment, whatever. But tell the story. It's part of the family story. Yeah, Cam, you weren't there for the 80th birthday. You decided to be sick. And I mean, I got hell from people. Well, you didn't have to take COVID if you didn't want to come see me. All in jest. But that's part of the story of Tennie's 80th birthday party. Cam missed it. It's all part of the story. It's the reality of it. Don't shy away from that. Tell the stories. The addict, like I have to be able to say in my ego, because you know me, I'm pretty, oh, nothing bothers me. It's fine. No big deal. I have to be able to say, yeah, it did bother me not to be a part of that. But I want to hear the stories. I have watched the videos that y'all have sent for happy birthday. I have listened to them. Some of you sent voicemails. It's all part of knowing that we are of this bigger family. So tell the stories. You know, the missings of addiction. People always ask, what's the cost of addiction? And they all, you know, well, average says an alcoholic will waste $4,500 to $6,000 on their drinking, or the coke addict, or the cost of this and the cost of going to treatment. That's not the cost of addiction. The cost of addiction is the missings of family, the missings of friends, the missings of inclusion. The last Christmas, I'll tear up about it, that I saw my mother. My brother lived in Temple at the time. I was living in Dallas at the time, and I was in that period of guilt that I was gay, fear that I was gay, and I hadn't really, I mean, I'd come out by then, and Mom had, you know, confronted me about it, all that. But I drove to Temple, had Christmas, but I couldn't come to allow myself to stay there, so I drove back that night. That was the last Christmas my mother had with my family. It was a missing. Tennie only turned 80 once in her life. That's a missing. And I know some people think, oh, Cam, you kind of get drama, but it is the same thing if you really look at the crux of it. The lying, the deceitfulness, the manipulation of coming out very much equates that to an addict's life. And that has served me well in my profession and job here at Shades. But the last 16 days and missing these events, that true core understanding of our clients that are here over Christmas, yeah, I look at, well, you're safe. You know, you don't have to worry about your food choices. You don't have to worry about going out on that Christmas bender. You don't have to worry about New Year's Eve. You're safe. That is true. However, there's the other side of it that I don't have all the appreciation in the world, but I have a better relationship to it of what they are missing in the family. The inclusion of just being there and being a part of it. So my challenge to you is Addiction is a disease, no doubt about it. And there are things that those in your life that are addicts are going to miss because of it. There are things as you as a family. God, my little ego has been stroked. People, Cam, there was such a missing you not being there. That has done my heart good. Tell your addicts that. We know you were, whatever you were doing, just know you were missed. End of story. They need to know that. Even if you're the one ostracizing them, of do not come into this house if you're using. That is setting your boundary. You can set your boundary and still miss the person. They need to know that. I needed to know, yeah, I wasn't there, but I was there in spirit. And I needed to know for my own ego, let's be honest about this, my own pride, that I was missed. My pride part, there was a segment of that group that still only know me by name because I never met them personally. That bothers me, but that's okay. I can reach out to them in other ways. But this holiday, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever it is you do to celebrate, take the time to let those you know that may not be with you, that you miss them. Not to create guilt, but to spread the love of the season. I permanently believe, yeah, Christmas is growing into this, what can I get for a gift, all that crap. But I firmly believe part of this season is to bring us pause to think about those blessings in our life and to give thanks for them and to recognize the blessings we currently have so we don't overlook them. I have 4 major blessings in my life. The family from which I was raised. I'm one of those Cinderella stories. You know, I never went without. I knew I was loved by 2 parents. That was my first. Second was finding the God of my understanding that has given me a guiding light. The third is when I was out there, my life hadn't been perfect. My God brought a person in my life that has loved me unconditionally for 27 years. The fourth blessing, and I tell him it's my greatest, is my son. I got to adopt him at 9 months of age, and a day hasn't gone by, even today, that he doesn't hear, "You are my greatest blessing." Don't pass those up. Don't pass up letting Miranda, Chris know, even through your troubles, that he's your blessing. We don't know what the next year holds. With God's grace, we'll have an 81st birthday, but I don't know. Some of us, I have a close friend that her husband just killed over 58 years old. God, that's kind of scary. I'm 66. We don't know what fate allows. I don't care if they're an addict or not. I don't care if you're still struggling with their issues. As an addict, I don't care if you feel less than. You still need to let your family love them. It doesn't mean you're going to not continue to go out. I don't know. But make the effort so you don't have the missing from this point forward in your life. You don't have to let your boundaries down. You don't have to do that. You still have your boundaries. Yes, you can love from afar. You can disassociate with love. You can do all that. But the two key words there are with love. Have your feelings, but with love. That's the key. So that is what I have today about missing. I appreciate those of you that are on to listen to me. I know I don't quite have the following of Tennie, but I shouldn't. She's 80 years old. And I remind her of that every day now. That she's still older than I am and always will be. But I don't know if any of you have any comments. Obviously, it's open if you do. But God will teach us those lessons. And in the midst of it, even sitting at that hotel and feeling guilty this last week when things were going on down here at the center, because you know how we're set up. Therapists are supposed to take care of the clients. When those other challenges and issues evolve, that's Cam's job to intercede. And we had one this last week. And to have to sit and put that off on Kim and them, I felt guilty about it. It's not that they can't handle it. That's not the issue. They are more than capable. But my pride that I couldn't do it. It's okay. I have my feelings about it, but it's okay. And God puts us in, I believe this, if we in the midst of it can really stop. Okay, God, teach me the lesson. Teach me the lesson and not just be angry that it's happening. So I have some lovely people that are willing. Heather, you've got your hand up, girlfriend. How have you been? Can you unmute?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Hi, thank you. Took me a second. I've been well, thank you so much. I'm very sorry about your getting sick and everything, and also I'm really moved by your analogy about the missing out on stuff and all of that, because it's so true, and it's really a good shift in perspective to think about, and then like taking all of the time to take care of yourself is, also to prevent, getting more sick or sick again. It's like, continuing in that same analogy, like doing whatever, working the program so you don't have to miss out on more stuff. So anyway, I appreciate what you had to say. I relate to so much, and I just wanted to say thank you very much.
Thank you, Heather. I appreciate the feedback. Sally.
Boy, I definitely can relate with you about the missings. And of course, I appreciate you opening up and saying what you needed to say and share. I know for me, I hated the fact that my parents had missed my high school graduation, missed my junior college graduation, and then my mom made it to my college graduation, but my dad didn't. And it bothered me some, but then later in life, when my dad got sick and when he had his final collapse, you know, I was so upset with my mom because there was plenty of time for my brother and I to have caught a red-eye flight and be by his bedside to say goodbye to him and watch him drift off. And so I can just feel I didn't really look at that as a missing, but it is. And I tend to think that I miss a whole lot more of my life of this past, 10 years with having all my physical and health issues. I miss a lot. But I try not to dwell, and I try to do what I can. And because it's important. It's just kind of like getting on a few minutes early on to Wednesday to be able to say hi and see your smiling. But that just like makes the rest of my week, and
Thank
when
you.
you're here, I kind of feel like, well, yeah, we're listening to Tennie, but Cam missed, and it's not that I hate Karen and Kim when they fill in, it's just that it's just your presence. And I want you to know that very much.
Well, thank you. I
And
appreciate
that's
that.
what I have to share.
Thanks, Sally. Miss Sherry.
Sorry, I don't have a picture on. I am
No
just
problem.
getting over COVID.
There you go. Isn't it fun?
Oh yeah, I've had it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just want to thank you. You're so wise. And thank you for your talk, because I never thought about that. I mean, like, I've had to shut my brother out because of his way he does. And I thought, I don't ever talk to him anymore. And I thought, you gave me such a feeling of knowing that's not right. I don't have to let him back in, but I can let him know I miss him and I love him. And as you said, that detached love. And I think I called Tennie or text Tennie, and I guess y'all all know that, Diane's having to have shoulder surgery.
I did not know that until this morning when Sally told me.
Yeah. And
God bless her.
I just fell apart because I couldn't be there for her. I've never been there where I couldn't. And I was going, I'm kind of like you, I'm kind of stubborn. And I thought, I'm going. I've just, because I wasn't negative, but I still have symptoms, I mean, I didn't run fever, but I was still, and I thought, I'm going. I just, no way, I can't be there. And I had more people gather around me saying, you can't do that to her. I was putting myself first, which was so wrong. I wasn't putting her first. And I just want to thank you for giving me such a different perspective on all of it, not just my sister, but a lot of things. And yes, we're going to miss out on things, but, with God's help, we'll get through that, and we do the right things. As they say, what is it? There's a saying.
Do the next right best thing.
Do the next right best thing. So thank you so much. I wasn't first sure I could get on because, like I said, I've just been so sick. I couldn't put my picture on because I'm sorry. I don't look too great right now.
I can so appreciate, I just looked beautiful the last 16 days. I was just, I wear makeup, but yeah, I was just beautiful.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Jerry. I just appreciate you being here, and I'm not quite sure how to reach out to Diane. We'll try to figure something out. But please continue to let us know how she's doing. Our thoughts and prayers will absolutely be with her.
I'm here. And I think she's on there. So
okay.
If you've got,
I didn't see you. Yeah. There you go, Diane. I didn't know.
I'll let you go, so if you want to talk to her. Thank you so much, Cam.
God bless.
God bless.
Anybody else have anything? Marinda.
I've never spoke on here before.
Now that you mention it, no, you haven't.
And I could so relate to all of that. And I think, oh God, I've missed out on so many things. Just a very quick little story. I remember years and years ago, I was on this diet, and it was Christmas, and everybody gathers at Earl's family Christmas Eve, and then we drive the next morning, Christmas Day, to my family's because they're like 3 hours apart. And I just remember saying to Earl, I'm on this diet. I'm not going to your mother's. I'm just not, because she has everything. She does this spread of sweet stuff every Christmas. I mean, we even still have her, she's been gone for 20 something years. We still have all her recipes, you know, because she wrote down all her, and everybody tries to emulate her at Christmas time. You gotta, Lord, I made Earl make me a fruit cake one time. It's a 5-pound fruit cake, and we eat it all. You know, that's my thing. And I'll tell you, I said, Earl, I cannot go. We missed out. Just he and I at home. I think he grilled sausage on the grill, you know, and I was going like, I'm on this diet. I can't do all that, you know. And then I justified, I was going like, just think, I don't have to buy any presents, you know. I don't have to buy any presents. We just stay home. We just tell them that, you know, we just don't feel like going, or I don't know what excuse we made up. And then I think about Christmas I spent at Shades a couple of years ago. It was the best Christmas. The best Christmas in such a long time. And that evening, Earl was there. I don't know if you remember, but he was coming to pick me up. He was there, and we're sitting in the living room, and the fire had been going since Thanksgiving. I mean, it was cold, and they kept that fire 24/7. It was I have a video of it on my phone and Chris sat there, and he gave his 5-year projection of what his life is, he wants his life to be like, you know, a dream of what do you dream of things for yourself in 5 years? And I mean, there were like 5 people in the room, and we were all crying. I mean, it was the gift to know that he could still dream, and we could dream with him, you know. And I learned that you can set your boundaries. You can, and still love unconditionally, you know?
Yeah.
I just could never put those two. I was just saying, I guess I don't love him enough because I just want him out of here. You know, like we went through hell. I thought our own hell, you know, with me being an addict and us being all codependent and enmeshed. And I mean, I literally could see the harm I had done, you know, to my family, being in my disease and not trying to, you know, just kept eating, shoveling food and depending on them for my happiness, you know. I just cannot tell you. I'm so glad I clicked this morning. I knew it was going to be good, but I had no idea what you were going to talk about. And this just kind of took the last 2 years and just put it all in a little nutshell. So thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm done. Thank y'all. I love you, and I'm so glad that y'all are here today.
I love you too, girl.
Thank you, dear.
Give Earl and Chris.
I certainly would. Yeah, he's asleep right now. He's living the good life.
That's what you're supposed to do when you retire.
No, not Earl. Chris.
Oh, Chris.
Earl went to.
Well, he's home from school, you know.
Yeah, he's done. He just took his last exam yesterday, and he's exhausted. And the effort that he put into it really has.
Did you ever think you'd be saying that?
I could not believe the effort that he put into. Hopefully,
is that not a miracle?
You know, 2 A's, and he signed up for next semester. So, you know, you couldn't ask for better. You know, you couldn't.
That warms my heart.
Okay. Well, thank y'all. I appreciate everything that you have done for my family.
Thank you.
I really do.
Anybody else have anything? Miss Jody.
Hi.
Hey, girlfriend, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. It's so great to see you. I've missed you these last few weeks.
Well, thank
And
you.
and I thought just last night when Karen was speaking, I was like, I told her that it would be nice to see her face this morning. And I was thinking that as I was thinking that, I said, well, I haven't seen Cam. And I was gonna text Karen and say, ask her, well, how is Cam doing? I haven't seen her for a while and I haven't heard. So you were on my mind last night.
Well,
So
thank
I
you.
am very, very pleased and blessed to see you on this morning. And like the other person said, this is right on. I mean, this is a season, and I needed to hear what you had to say. And I am so grateful that I chimed on this morning as well. I mean, I have missed out on a lot of things with my family. And I think for me right now is what I'm missing out on is stuff that I haven't missed out on, if that makes sense. I mean, I have a father who I have not seen in umpteen years since I was a little girl, and I'm in my 60s, and but I still feel like I've missed out on stuff, but I've never had it, but I still miss it. So I
Yeah,
don't know if that makes sense.
it does.
But it's a challenge for me to not feel guilty because while I was in treatment there at Shades, I I acknowledged this with my father, my missing out on a lot of things with him, and how I felt about that. And I didn't really get a response from him. So I have mixed feelings about that. I have some guilt, I have some shame, and I have some mixed feelings about whether or not I should have done those things that I did, about maybe writing him a letter about how I felt about our relationship through the years. And so, right with you talking about this topic, I have to maybe get my ego out of the way too and say, it's not all about me, Jody. It's not all about me, Jody. It's not all about you, Jay. It's about him as well. And what about his feelings? And sometimes I want to know that I don't have to feel guilt for how I felt, and speaking my truth, about how I felt. And like the other person said, when I was at Shade during Christmas, during my disease time at Christmases, I wasn't able to enjoy anything. I wasn't able to enjoy the visit with my families or anything like that. The food, the presents, the trees, the parades, nothing. I wasn't able to enjoy it. But the Christmas I had there last year, I mean, it was so relaxing. I mean, oh my God, I was so healthy. I could think, I could feel. It was so warm. Everybody was so nice to me. I mean, it was genuinely the most precious thing I had. And that's the most thing. That's what I remember right now is the Christmas that I had at Shades. That's what I remember right now. And I'm so sad that I didn't make Tenny's 80th birthday. I'm so sad that I missed that. And that's something that I'll have to, you know, memorize and regret for the rest of my life that I missed that of her, and I would have wanted to be there. But I just wanted to say I'm so glad to see you, and I'm so proud of
Thank
you.
you.
I'm so proud. I'm so proud of the whole McCarthy family, and I'm so glad that I'm a part of this family, and that I love you guys and appreciate you guys so much. And I so much appreciate you guys' effort every day of trying to keep this community together, these alumni people, and what you guys do to keep the alumni so involved and connected to Shades and with each other. And when I leave these calls and leave the alumni calls, I still feel connected as a family. I still feel like I'm in Texas. I still feel like I'm just down the street. I'm in my own apartment. But when I walk out of the door, I'm in Texas. I'm in Shades, and all I have to do is pick up the phone and call somebody or text Karen or Kim and say, "This is what's going on," and I know I'll be heard. And I just want to take this time to say happy holidays to all of you guys. And I love you. And please pass this on to the rest of the
I will.
family. I
Absolutely.
love you guys dearly, and you are my second chosen family. And I love you guys dearly. So thank you so much for this topic. Bless you. God bless you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Well, I appreciate y'all being here. And I am assuming Miss Tennie will be here next Wednesday. God only knows, but if not, you'll probably get to see my smiling face again. Be kind to yourselves. Be kind to yourselves. First and foremost. And God bless each and every one of you. And happy holiday. Hang in there, Brett. And we'll see y'all next week. Be good.
Thank you. Cam. Bye.
Thanks, Cam.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Cam. Love you.
Love you.